Chef Gail Sokol, and welcome to Baking with Success. Today we're going to be making St. Germain Bundtlet cakes. So these are little mini individual servings of baby Bundtlettes, and they have this delicious elderflower liqueur known as, this is a brand name, St. Germain. There are many other brand names that you can use. And when you smell it, it smells very fresh and almost floral. You almost want to dab a little bit behind your ears because it really, really smells so delicious. So we're going to be actually putting some in the batter, and we're actually going to be soaking our little Bundtlettes in them at the end. So we're going to get lots of flavor. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to spray a 6-cup mini Bundt pan very well with nonstick cooking spray. And afterwards, I actually got my fingers in there to make sure every nook and cranny of that Bundt, of those little baby Bundts, actually got coated with the nonstick cooking spray. I also preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And this is known as the creaming method of mixing. So we're going to take a softened stick of butter, unsalted butter, and a cup of granulated sugar, and we're going to put it on low speed until it gets nice and fluffy and light. In this container I have 2 eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla, and my dry ingredients consist of 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And here is a half a cup of buttermilk, well shaken. Make sure you shake it up before you pour it out. And 1/4 cup of that lovely St. Germain liqueur. Yum. So that's going to give our Bundtlettes nice flavor. So we're going to let this go for a couple minutes. And we're going to make sure it gets nice and fluffy. And I want to show you what it looks like. Don't rush this process because it will affect the texture of your cake. I think we're there. I think my butter and my sugar look nice and fluffy, and you can see the butter almost turned white, and that means there's a lot of air in it, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl a little bit, and then I'm going to begin to add eggs, and you're going to add them one at a time. So on low speed, we're going to add one of our eggs. Just add it until one yolk goes in. Make sure you don't crack the egg directly from the shell in here, because you'll end up with shells in your batter, and that would not be good. Let that dissolve a little bit, not dissolve, but sort of blend in a little bit, and wait about 30 seconds or so, and then you're going to add your vanilla, and this is pure vanilla extract. Once that becomes nice and jiggy together, you're going to add your remaining egg. We're building what's known as an emulsion, and most cake batters are emulsions. I'm going to let that go for a little bit till it gets a little bit fluffier. I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. So I think we're there. Our eggs and our vanilla are nice and blended in, and you can see it looks maybe a little curdled, but don't worry, that's going to get taken care of when we add our dry ingredients. All right, so now this is where the fun begins. We're going to alternate. We're going to add 1/3 of our dry ingredients that we've blended very well, because you want to make sure those chemical leaveners get blended in well. So I add 1/3 of our dry ingredients, and then we're going to add half of our buttermilk St. Germain mixture. And you're going to do this on low speed because we don't want to develop the gluten and make a tough Bundtlet. Now I'm going to add half of our buttermilk St. Germain mixture. And you might want to scrape it down every once in a while so it gets nice and blended in, and all the dry ingredients are blended in. I'm going to stop it right now. And just sort of go around the sides. Time to add another 1/3 of our dry ingredients. And you can scrape down the sides of the bowl whenever you feel like you want to, but usually after I put in the remaining buttermilk, or a little bit of the buttermilk, and the St. Germain's a good time. Now I'm going to add the remaining half of the St. Germain and buttermilk. Oh, I just got a little in the eye. That St. Germain. Yum. All right, so I'm going to continue adding the remainder of my dry ingredient. So this is my last third. And again, you don't want to overmix, you'll develop gluten. So we're just going to mix until the flour is absorbed. I'm going to stop right now, scrape down the sides, and then I want to show you this gorgeous batter. All right, so one more go around on low speed, and we're there. Let me show you how gorgeous this is. This is one of the most beautiful batters I've ever made. It's lovely. If you think this type of thing is lovely, and I do. So let me show you. Look at how beautiful it is. It almost looks like frosting. It's thick, it's emulsified, nothing's separated. We're ready to put these little mini bunts in the pan. We're ready to fill our pans. So I'm taking a small spoon, and I'm going to be very careful with a rubber spatula just to get it right in the pan, not on top of the little tube area. And you're only going to fill these halfway. They should make about 8 buntlets, which means, since there's only 6 in here, if you do the math, you're going to need to rebake, re-clean each pan, each buntlet, and actually respray and just bake off the last 2. If you overfill them, they get very hard to get out of the pan. So see what I'm doing? I'm just spreading with a little knife. And that's how you do it, and then we're going to continue on our way. The buntlets are ready to go into the oven, 23 to 25 minutes at 350. So while our buntlets are baking, we're going to be making our Saint Germain syrup. And this is what we're going to soak the little dolls in so that they get nice and soaked up with this beautiful liqueur. So I have half a cup of water. It can be hot or cold, it doesn't matter. And the same amount, half a cup plus 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. And I'm just going to bring this to a boil till the sugar dissolves and then take it off the heat. And then we're going to add some elderflower liqueur afterwards, some Saint Germain. So we don't want it to evaporate, that's why I'm not adding it now. So I'll see you back here in about a minute. So my simple syrup is made, my sugar has dissolved nicely, and I'm going to pour it into a bowl. And I'm just going to let it cool to lukewarm. And once it cools to lukewarm, I'm going to add half a cup of our lovely Saint Germain liqueur. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells divine. I'm going to add my half a cup of Saint Germain liqueur, which I carefully do not want to evaporate, so that's why I allowed my sugar syrup to get to room temperature. Lukewarm, maybe lukewarm would be good. And you're just going to let it rest, and now we're going to dip our babies in them. Look at these cuties. Aren't they adorable? And they came out beautifully. So all you guys are ready to go into the pool. So we're going to slowly put them in. We're going to put them face down, flip them over, and take them out. So they soak in. Put them in head first, flip them over, take them out. Do it with each one. And slowly you're going to see your syrup go down because they're getting soaked up in these beautiful little cakes. They're like little sponges. Oh, I can smell the Saint Germain. You have no idea how delicious this smells. So flowery and so sweet and beautiful. It smells like a garden in here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And if you have any more syrup, I have enough for my other 2, so I'm just going to leave that. If you want to do a double dunking, you can do that as well. But I don't think it's necessary because I really don't want them to get mushy. So now I'm going to show you how to plate them and dust them with a little sugar. All right, oh, you caught me sugaring my little buntlets. I put them on a serving platter, And I like to just put a little bit of confectioner's sugar on top. And you can serve them as they are, or a little whipped cream, a little ice cream, a little schnapps, like some Saint Germain on the side would be delicious as well. So try to make these. They're so simple and so easy. Enjoy them. Please look at my YouTube channel for other videos, and go to my website, Baking with Success with Chef Gail Sokol. Until next time, I really enjoy being with you. Take care. Oh, yum. Oh, they smell so good.